Christ Episcopal Church has a rare opportunity coming up in just a few years as we celebrate our 175th anniversary, and not too many congregations can lay claim to being that old and having the kind of rich and visionary history that we have had for that time. The 175th anniversary campaign is about being good stewards of the resources that God has given to us. We have this beautiful campus, a historic chapel, really outstanding facilities in a great part of town, a place of real beauty. But it's our job and our calling as the people who worship here and serve here to take good care of these facilities and to leave them in good condition. We have so much deferred maintenance, and we've had it for a number of years, and now is the time to step up and make the appropriate repairs so that those who follow us will have a campus that shines with God's love outside and in.
We have been tracking all projects that need repairing or rebuilding or fixing around here, and have done a credible job with the small amount of money that we've been given, but we just have not had the funds to do everything that we need to do. With the age of the buildings and the deferred maintenance that's been accumulating, we've really got to address that quickly.
So the first part of the campaign is the immediate renovation and long-term enhancement of our historic campus. We'll begin with St. Cecilia House. It was built in the 1880s. It could be a real showplace for our congregation. It's the first building a lot of people see as they approach our campus from downtown Covington. We want to do a complete overhaul of St. Cecilia House and restore it in a way that is both functional and beautiful. Secondly, the administration building just needs some minor tweaks and some minor improvements. Our HVAC system, which was flooded out during the recent floods, we want to repair all of those and bring them up to the place where they need to be, fully functioning. Our primary space, really, the place where we all gather consistently, is our worship space. And the church needs some attention and some renovation, particularly with regard to the balcony. We want to fix the leak in the balcony, to improve the seating and the flooring and have tiered seating, improve our sound and lighting capabilities. Our organ is also in dire need of an upgrade.
We need a new organ. The organ, it really needs a lot of maintenance work that has been put off for a long time. And on an organ, you have all these different registrations and stops, and there are so many right now that we can't use. It's really detrimental to the music we're trying to prepare. We have lots of ciphers where notes will just ring out and not stop, or notes just won't sound at all. And I know that Yana has a hard time making music happen.
Yeah, the great thing about a working organ is that you have so much that you can use to express and create different moods. And I mean, Yana and Carolyn do such an excellent job of working with what we have, but if we had a fully working organ, I mean, that would be amazing. We could do so much more.
Yes.
Holshab Hall needs some minor improvements, but while we're at it, we'd like to upgrade the kitchen with some new equipment. The chapel is in need of some minor improvements and repairs, and we hope to do those as part of the campaign. Some other things that you'll see throughout the campus will be energy efficiency in every building. It's the right thing to do as good stewards, and it will also lower our utility costs. We're also going to provide lightning protection on our campus. We don't have any right now, and so we want to do that as quickly as we can.
So if we want to ensure that Christ Episcopal Church keeps going and is able to minister in the future, there are three things that we really need to kind of pay attention to. The first is our buildings and grounds. We need to make sure that our buildings are here, that they're stable and functional, that they're inviting and welcoming, so that we can continue to have the programs and the worship that we have here at Christ Church. Second thing we need to do is focus on our outreach and make sure we have funds so that we are able to continue to reach out into the community to show Christ's love on the North Shore, and to continue the programs that we do, like SEEP and working with Habitat and working with the food bank. We want to continue to do those things, and so outreach is another really strong component of our campaign.
One of the things I'm excited about this year is that we're finally putting outreach back in the budget so that people can see what we actually spend money on and how much money it takes to run different outreach ministries, because this has been a very generous place in the past when it comes to working with different groups in the community, and yet it's been behind the scenes or tucked away or coming out of somebody else's space, and so to have it in our budget I think is important for people to see what we're doing.
Part of our mission as Christ Church is to be the heart, hands, and feet of Jesus in the community. And outreach is the reflection of God's love for us to others. You know, at the dismissal, it does not say, this is it until next week. It says, go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Well, part of what we do with outreach is to take what we've been reminded of and what we've celebrated in the Eucharist out to the rest of the body of Christ. We are living members of the body of Christ, and so is everyone else. We have some wonderful, wonderful programs. SEEP is for children in grades 3 through 6, and reteaches the curriculum for St. Tammany and allows them to also be creative and find their own talents and gifts.
What Habitat actually is, it's taking somebody and giving them a decent place to live and getting them off the streets. It's something we can give back right here, right now. It's people helping people. It's just a great outreach where you get to meet the families and work with the families, but we highly encourage everybody from church to please get involved and come out and help us.
We also are continuing to work with the Covington Food Bank and youth missions, and then one of the exciting things that David and I are doing this summer, thanks to David having built a relationship with the bishop to begin with, is hosting a trip to Cuba. So we are hoping that in future outreach projects we will say, in our continuing relationship with the Diocese of Cuba and Bishop Griselda.
The bottom line is connections. The connections of us, people, one-to-one, group by group, church by church, and there are so many needs. Mutual, I will say. Theirs are more physical. Ours may be not so physical, but we have our needs too, and part of our need is to reach out. That is part of a need.
I love the way that you talked about our mutual needs, that sense of not being the church that sort of hands out to somebody in the community, but the recognition that this is all about building relationships. And it's one of the things that I have so enjoyed with the First Love program with Faith Bible and also with the SEEP program, and that sense of developing relationships in community, seeing some of the same kids come back, you know, in future years, having graduates of the SEEP program come back to us and talk to us, our ability to see someone in Pace and you know that that's someone that you met through one of those programs. And it is about developing relationships and being with people, and that's why the outreach is so important. And it does meet a need in us to have followed the example that Jesus gave us about reaching out and developing those relationships as well.
That's the thing. We are following in the steps of Jesus. If there's my greatest love are the teachings of Jesus. They're so complete, and we are following the teachings of Jesus.
The third component to our campaign kind of focuses on our ministries within our own congregation, in reach, if you'll call it. ensure that we ourselves as a community are nourished and filled so that we're able to go out in the world and to spread that love.
We come together as a spiritual community to be fed, to be nourished and nurtured so that we can go out into the world and make a difference. And worship is at the heart of all we do as a spiritual community. And so there's a component in this campaign to help fund some of our worship initiatives, some of the beautiful music that draws us together and lifts our spirits, inspires us, and encourages us to be the people of God. Christ Episcopal Church is a community known for its excellent and inspiring and diverse music. We want to continue to fund our extraordinary choir with section leaders and our extraordinary leader of our choir, our organist. We also want to fund our new initiatives such as our gospel and jazz 11:30 service and providing musicians for all of our services, those in the chapel with a traditional format as well as our Sunday evening jazz vespers service. Secondly, our ministry to children and youth is at the heart also of not only who we are now, but who we will become in the future.
I think the youth group should be focused on because they are part of the church now. And just like you would focus on any adult education or any adult enrichment program, they're another part of the church that needs to be built up, needs to be encouraged in their faith. Being able to provide a safe space for that, a safe community for them to explore their faith and ask the questions is a big part of supporting the church as a whole. By bringing them into the church now and letting them know that they're not just the future, they're already here. They're already sitting in the pews next to us. They're already reading in the services. And so just having them connected in that community is going to strengthen that connection as they grow older.
I really love our youth group program. That's always been really special to me since I was in 6th grade. And it's made church, like the church service itself, more meaningful to me, I think also, and it's just really given me a community here. So that's really important to me.
So these funds would allow us the seed money to hire a second youth minister and fund that position over 3 years. The third component of the in-reach or ministry aspect of our campaign would be to actually pay Morgan. We hired her on faith, but we never really raised the funds necessary to pay her salary. This will provide seed money to support that position financially over the next 3 years.
So all three of these things together kind of help us get to that higher ground and reach the goal of continuing ministry here in Covington for years to come.
It's about creating a foundation and beginning to build on that foundation for ministry through technology, through youth ministry, through adding another clergy person who can help us expand our ministry. So it's not just about meeting our own needs and maintaining, but it's also about mission and ministry and building for the future.
Christ Church just is our life. You know, our life centers around this church. We worship here. Our friends are here, and we feel very strongly about this campaign going on. And I know to many of us, it will be for us. It would be a sacrificial giving situation, but we're growing. Everybody is very happy with our new rector, and we've just got to go ahead and take this step.
The first place that people turn to in a time of major events in their lives, whether it's the birth and baptism of a child or a marriage or a funeral, or when you're in need or you want to express joy or you want to have your teenager confirmed or you want to celebrate a special occasion, the first place you turn is your faith community. And thinking back over these last almost 175 years and all the people who have observed those milestones on this campus, in this place, and how much this community has meant to so many people. What a golden opportunity we have to celebrate that and to really make a difference for those who will come after us.
I love Christ Church.
We love love Christ Church.
I love Christ Church.
We love Christ Church.